The times entering the Middle Ages were far from pleasant. Great empires fell, different tribes and clans were constantly fighting for territories, and dynasties came and went. During this time, the Catholic Church was growing and getting more and more powerful every day. The struggle between church and state was a great problem during the Middle Ages. Let's see how it all began.
Pepin the Short, I've done my duties to the Pope and to the Franks. My time has come.
Charles had great accomplishments while king, and his character earned him the title of Charlemagne. He conquered many nations, restored order to Western Europe, and even created an office called Missae Dominici, or the King's Envoy. One Christmas Day, the Pope pronounced Charlemagne Roman Emperor. This crowning raised a question: who had the power? The Pope did crown Charlemagne king, so this battle for supremacy continued for many years.
Even though Charlemagne's success greatly improved the Western Empire, the empire didn't last forever. It came apart for many reasons after Charlemagne died and was split up 3 ways. Powerful nobles eventually replaced the kings and started a system of feudalism.
Partake in homage.
Yes, Lord.
Whatever you say.
You have the right of use of the fief, and I will protect you. Both of you will supply financial aid for my daughter's marriage, and you will fight for me. The knight played a major role in the Middle Ages. He offered his protection and showed honor with his code of chivalry and even in his jousting tournaments, but the process of becoming a knight was very long.
You know what you need to do to become a knight, and I'll guide you, so let's get started. Now, you are no longer a page, but a squire.
Yeah!
As knight, I will command you to do many things for me. You will do chores, wait on us while we're eating, and care for all my equipment.
Yes, sir.
At the age of 21, squires became eligible for knighthood. Most squires became knights through a special religious ceremony.
I bless you when you are a knight. You will serve with chivalry and honor. Another large part of the Middle Ages was the manor or village. There were cottages for peasants, churches for clergy, and the lord's residence. All the villagers or peasants plowed, planted, and harvested all the crops.
After Charlemagne's death, his descendants divided his empire, but they gave little protection against the Magyars. So the dukes ruled the dukeis like a king to protect them. After the last king's death, the dukes voted for one of their own to become king. Henry the Fowler became king. He repelled the raid of the Slaves and Magyars. He's dead. This leaves me, Otto I, to be king.
Otto I relied on the support of the church officials to help him through his struggles with rival dukes and helped him in victory over the Magyars. But fearing that the rival dukes would seize northern Italy, he crossed the Alps and proclaimed himself the king of Italy. Since you, Otto, have helped me against the Roman nobles, I now crown thee Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire.
The first conflict within the empire was that German rulers cared more about Italian affairs than the affairs of their homeland. This gave nobles an opportunity to increase their power.
The second conflict was with the popes. The emperors intervened in papal affairs, chose popes, and appointed church officials within their realm.
The biggest conflict in the empire was over land vesture between Emperor Henry IV and Gregory VII. Gregory won. Henry returned home and crushed a rebellion of nobles before raiding Italy. He seized Rome and installed a new pope. Gregory fled and died.
You are now king.
Civil wars further weakened the German monarchy and led to the development of feudalism. Large dukeis in Italy and Germany broke up into many small states. Some of the strongest noble families established a practice of electing the German monarch. The noble's power was supreme.
I, Frederick I, would like to form an alliance between this empire and Sicily. So my son shall marry the heiress of Sicily. Frederick II grew up in Sicily, where he became acquainted with Greek and Arab cultures. He was the ward of Innocent III. I will secure the German throne for you if you promise to give up the throne of Sicily.
I promise. I will seize the throne of Sicily.
Frederick II devoted most of his life to Sicily and Italy, leaving the German princes from imperial interference. His death in 1250 marked the decline of the Holy Roman Empire.
In the early medieval times, they would barter for many things. This helped trade and provided value for the purchase and sale of goods. Another form of money would be letters of credit. Let's see how the letters of credit were put to use with these kings.
Your papers in exchange for your lot. Thank you.
Well, that king was very fortunate. During this time, there was not much economic freedom. The church was used what was called a just price. It was basically put a fair price on everything you bought or sold. If you made more money than you needed, you were expected to give it to charity. This made the charities richer. This made people take the use of money different.
Towns were very small. They usually contained no more than 5,000 people. They were surrounded by thick walls and became overcrowded. The streets were terrible, and disease started growing everywhere. It spread during trade. This started the Black Death.
Here's your package.
Thank you. It's Black Death!
Man, that Black Death was terrible. It tore towns and families apart. 1/4 of the population died of the plague. This epidemic brought out the worst in mankind.
Cantate Domino, in ecclesia in execto ruin.
You can really tell how schools have changed. Notice how Latin was taught in all the universities. It was the national language of Europe.
From language, we switched to the 100-Year War. This war was between England and France. This started as a tiny conflict between feudal lords. Let's see what it led to.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching. Seriously, that's not about the money.
I'm Batman.
M&M's. Mommy made me mash my M&M's.
We are the champions, my friend.
Cleanliness next to managerliness. That was good.
Oh.